Yo, 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 what's good? So it's Jeffrey the artist. If you don't know me, I am a professionally funded trader. As you can see here, I have my certificate. I am part of the consistently profitable trading gang. So part of that 5% of traders that consistently pull profits out of the market, can pass funded evaluations, the whole nine yards. So over the course of this video, I'm going to show you a tool that I have developed based off of my strategy and my understanding of the market. Okay. So this tool is fully created using Chat GPT. Forex GPT is a technical trading tool that helps you find high risk to reward trading setups. Okay. It detects a certain candlestick pattern that I have found and back tested hundreds of times and found that it is a reversal signature within the markets. Okay. So it focuses on currency pairs. So all 28 currency pairs, doesn't work on gold, doesn't work on indices. There's also an integrated alert system. So anytime one of these setups occurs, these patterns, these GPT setups, it can send you an alert, right? But you have to set up that alert. It's not just going to automatically send it to you. Okay. That has entry lines, right? For buys, blue entry lines for buys, stop losses red, both on buys and sells. Forex GPT is not your brain. All right. It's not your brain. You have to follow the rules. All right. In order to be successful, just like with any trading system. All right. The rules. It has to give you a push in the direction of the signal, right? And then come back into the entry zone. All right. So there was about two valid setups that occurred here. As you can see, this one didn't push out of the zone too far and then it breached the stop loss area. That's invalid, right? You can see here that this printed at the top of a range. A buy at the top of a range is no go, just like the vice versa. A sell at the top of the range is no go. All right, but you can see here that this created a push, pulled back into it, pulled up, right? So, you know, anybody can say they made an indicator and whatever, but few people can say that they have documentation of their indicator actually working in real time. For those of you that are familiar or not familiar with TradingView's capability to publish and post up your predictions for potential trade setups, you can actually post your trading analysis when it's occurring and watch it play out in real time. So these are a few setups that I'm going to show you that Forex GPT gave me, right? You can see this actual post was on September 6th, right? So Forex GPT or greater precision trading is designed to help users catch high risk to reward setups on currency pairs, right? Like I've already explained. And this is an example of a valid setup that I will be taking. And I did actually take this in real time. First, price must push away from the alert area in the direction of the signal without breaching the suggested stop loss area. All right. This is where the Forex GPT signal printed, right? You can see the stop loss area here. We got a nice push about 25 pips away, 27 pips, right? And then we wait. I set the setup here on a Thursday, right? Right at the suggested entry line, as you can see. And we will hit the play button to load the bars as it played out. Right? So it not only gave you one, one entry, but one, two, and three, right? And let's look at the risk to reward that this setup would have delivered. So a 1 to 7.83. All right. So I don't know what your risk to reward is, but I do know that my average risk to reward is 1 to 10, right? And over a course of 100 trades with Forex GPT, I got a 6.54 average risk to reward. Okay. Now, I'm not saying that this is going to be an easy button, right? You're still going to have to manage your emotions during the trade. You're still going to have to use your mind to make sure the rules are fulfilled before you enter, right? As well as a few other rules, which when you get the indicator, I go over those rules as well. Let's look at another setup that Forex GPT printed, right? Again, this is in real time. We had all the parameters fulfilled, right? Forex GPT printed the signal, right? Stop loss here, entry here. It gave the push, giant push, a giant push. Was this like almost 100 pips, right? It pulled back. And when it pulled back, I published my analysis, right? And as you can see, these stop losses are extremely tight, right? 8.3 pips, 8.3 pip stop loss, y'all. All right. And a 6.54, right? 1 to 6.54. Let's play it out and see what happens. Okay. So you can see that setup again not only gave you one opportunity to get in, actually gave you an opportunity here, 2, 3, and 4. And not only did it smash 1 to 6, but this one ran, I would probably say about 1 to 12, maybe even 1 to 13, maybe even more. Oh yeah, definitely ran more. Probably like 1 to 20, somewhere in there. All right. So another real-time setup. All right. This is not going to be the holy grail of trading, though. 100% transparency. There's no strategy. Anybody that's out there watching, if you're looking for 100% accuracy in the market, you are going to be chasing your tail, right? Chasing your tail like a dog and playing pin the tail on the donkey because it doesn't exist. All right, just like this next setup here. All right, we can see that this setup, it gave the push, right? Gave the push, and I wanted to take this setup to the highs, right? Recent highs that were broken. This setup actually activated, right? And this was the setup that I thought was going to pass my funded challenge, right? But it didn't get to my projected target and I didn't really collect. So it fell back. So, like I said, you still have to roll the dice. No strategy is 100%, right? And it's really eyes, right? Your eyes on the chart. It's not your brain, okay? It's not your brain. You still have to follow the rules, like I said. That increases your chances of having success, all right? But more important than the indicator, right, is the understanding behind why it works, right? Even without the indicator, right? My own analysis of trades. Here's a 1 to 9 setup, right? Again, played out in real time, right? So the understanding behind Forex GPT comes directly from my understanding of the market, right? Despite it being an indicator, right? It's like literally having my eyes on the chart. Most of my setups that I take come from the price action context clues that I have Forex GPT observe, right? And alert the user to. Okay. Same thing for real time, right? So we're going to go over the past 48 hours of Forex GPT, right? So these were actual setups that Forex GPT printed. Okay. So we have 7 pairs that printed setups, valid setups on ForexGPT. It did get an upgrade. As you can see, now it has the little green lines or the suggested take profit lines. Also based off of logical points in the market, most recent price action. Okay, so it's not just placing your take profit on some random point in the market like most traders do, right? It's all based on logic. Okay, and so this one was the valid setup. You can see it printed the short setup, right? These two red lines were the entry, your suggested entry area, right? You can set it and forget it, right? Put your stop loss up here, run your take profits down here, right? It activated, right? Saying with mastery of the concepts, because Forex GPT is more than just an indicator. It comes with my education, right? A 4-week training of my perspective on the market that I had while I was developing Forex GPT. Okay. So combining the education and the indicator, right? You exponentially increase your chances of success. All right. So here, even if let's say we just did it like this, did the suggested stop loss, the first suggested entry area, right? A 14 pip stop loss and a 1 to 3. Okay. Let's say we entered at the top, right? A 10 pip stop loss and a 1 to 5. All right. Next up, we have Euro JPY. All right. We had an amazing setup given out by Forex GPT at the bottom of the range. We had a buy that pushed the market 192 pips, right? The suggested entry line, right? We see that this suggested entry line and that stop loss was never breached. From that, 111 pips, right? On this entry, 1 to 30, right? And that's after you master the education, right? Each one of these trades that Forex GPT creates with a suggested stop loss, you, by diving into the education, can exponentially increase the risk to reward that you can achieve. Okay. Let's check out the next setup. And mind you, this is, today, this was Friday, right? 9:15. Okay. A valid setup given by Forex GPT. Boom. A buy. It gave a push out of it. It came back, never breached the stop loss area. This isn't really the type of setup that I like to see, but for illustration purposes, I will show it because a lot of people's risk to reward is 2, sometimes 1, sometimes less than that, right? So if your risk to reward is less than 3, less than 4, right? Or less than the average Forex GPT, which is a 1 to 6.54, right? You see, this is 1 to 14. All right. And even if we did it like this, put that up at this suggested area, 1 to 7.88. Okay. Next up, USD CAD. All right. Same concept. We are just literally rinsing and repeating market, right? Rinsing and repeating the market. This is valid, right? Because it printed, it gave the push, right? Gave 51 pips to the push, came back into that, never breached, look, the suggested stop loss area right here. All right. Never breached that. Move it down just so y'all can see, truly. Never breached that. Never breached that. So this was a 1 to 11, right? Even if the standard suggested stop loss, suggested entry, and suggested stop loss area. Ran 1 to 11. Okay. Then if you get into the higher time frame, then you start to hit ridiculous risk to reward. Okay. A 1 to 38 on Euro AUD, right? A valid setup. Why? It printed. The stop loss area was never breached. And as you can see, it ran 86 pips from the setup, validating the setup. And when it came back, you enter and you put your stop loss. We had a 6.6 pip stop loss on this setup. Okay. This was today. All right. Setup that played out between yesterday and today. Let's go to Euro USD. Okay. This is a valid setup. All right. A buy printed at the bottom of the range. In fact, we can just turn off everything else but ForexGPT. Don't even need to see anything else right now. All right. So buy printed at the bottom of the range. Suggested entry line. Never breached the suggested stop. Almost crushed target. I mean, really, you should have collected. You really should have collected, been managing your trade at this point, but a 1 to 11. Okay. A 1 to 11. Then we have GBP NZD. All right. We had a sell that printed at the top of the range, kind of in the middle, but what validated it was it ran 74 pips. Right? It ran 74 pips from the signal, pulled back into it. And it was a meltdown, 166 pips, a 1 to 19, right? 1 to 19. So if you're not catching 1 to 19s, 1 to 6s, 1 to 38s, 1 to 11s, these extreme RR trades, these challenge busters, if you will, any one of these trades can assist you in passing a challenge, even if you catch 2 1 to 6s, right? 2 1 to 6 trades, that's an evaluation. You could be passing phase 1, or if you have a one-step evaluation, you just passed and became a funded trader, right? As long as you follow the rules, right, you can have success, right? And that's with any trading strategy. It doesn't matter if you have ForexGPT or whatever, moving average cross or RSI divergence, whatever strategy you are using, it can work as long as you stay disciplined. All right. As long as you stay disciplined, you can find success. All right. And so because you stayed towards the end, right, I'm going to show you this special indicator that I was also using. As you can see, this line here, special line, right, gave extra confluence for the ForexGPT setup, right? Exact like this line and the ForexGPT entry were right on top of each other, right? You can see on these other setups that this as well, right? This setup was almost right on top of the entry for ForexGPT, right? The take profit level got smacked, right? This can be your take profit level for your entries, right? Coupling ForexGPT and Neo Hyena Vision, which paints relevant levels in the market, right? Which I go over in the education that comes with the ForexGPT suite. All right. So for you staying to the end, right? If you want to become one of the members of the dojo, you can get ForexGPT and Neo Hyena Vision, which paints these relevant price levels here, right? That you can use as confluence. Just go to the link in the description, and the first 10 members are going to get 50% off. So, yeah, if you want to hop on the ForexGPT train, if you want to pass your challenges, if you want to become consistently profitable through proven education, through, proven funded traders, right? People who are actually passing funded evaluations, right? Then, you know, tap in, get the Forex GPT suite, click the link in the description, and I will see y'all at the top because the bottom is way too crowded. Let's get it.